Sure you're visible. There you go. Hi.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
We're in heaven.
Wisteria, blisteria.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. These flowers are my most favorite, and what a pleasure to land underneath them this morning. So thank you. Yeah.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
Like which flowering tree or bush or do we want to be around?
it is that
It's
right now.
so
It's been
luxurious.
cycling one to the next to the next. So I'm finding it just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm taking it all in.
Yeah.
Spring is here. Spring is here.
Oh, it's so good.
And we're sitting in like shorts, and so it almost feels like summer right away.
Oh yeah. It's been a really beautiful transition this year. Yeah, in our part of the world. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Just working with a young mom who's, navigating so much, being a new mom, and so it's always good to show up for the moms and the babies and just be a lending hand, whether it's making soup. I made a bunch of food for them, or holding the baby while she showers, or whatever it is. I mean, we really do need to support each other right now in whatever ways, and just showing up with acceptance wherever we are at, without needing to fix or without needing to judge. Just try to show up in that neutral space. I mean, we all do our best, right? Because when the emotions are involved, we want to care to the best of our abilities. So there's, just holding that little baby gives me so much joy in
Just
itself.
made me realize that, you talk a lot about supporting mums and birthing process and all that stuff, but of course you get to spend a lot of time with brand new humans as a result of that.
Well, yes.
So you get to be really right in that liminal magical space of that threshold experience.
Yeah, that's interesting you use that word liminal space, because I'm really seeing myself more and more as a medial woman that is very much fed and nourished in that lineal middle space, which is, quite profound. I have a funny story yesterday. Was it yesterday? Okay. I was going to the airport to pick up my son.
Oh, yeah.
Was that yesterday? It was Wednesday. So anyhow, time. And
2 days ago.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's the middle space, right? And I was listening to a book called Haggitude, which I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. And it was quite cool, just the chapter that I was listening to on Audible as I was driving through the concrete jungle, and just really spoke in that moment about imagination, and how the imagination is such a vital tool for healing, for living really, and receiving. And so my imagination in that moment popped up an image of an owl that was sort of perched on the back of me.
Ooh.
And in that moment, I'm driving again through concrete jungle, lanes of highway, middle of the day, and just out of like the very peripheral of my vision, I just got called to look quickly, and there was an owl on the top of this building. And so I had split seconds to look again, because I was like, what? And it was literally like I was looking, and that owl was looking right into my eyes, and I was looking right into it. But it was like on the other side of a couple of lanes of traffic.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was quite a ways away, but I really felt like it was right looking into my soul. And so then I'm driving along, like going, is that even possible? Is that like, that owl must have been like a decoy to other birds? Sometimes they have those plastic owls to scare away other animals or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, was that real? And just like really, just really honoring and acknowledging that middle space, and you know, we try to access that through the heart math practice and quick coherence as well, where we just can go into that middle space, so we're not pulled in either direction of the polarities, you know, fear, love, man, female, masculine, all the polarities, night, day, moon, sun, that we live within, right? It's really that middle space where there's just so much information. And that was the most freaking powerful acknowledgement for me, like right in the moment. Yes, like follow this, you know, trust this. And it's interesting because the last week or so I've really been calling back into the owl magic and medicine, and willing to embrace it, because it can be quite, you know, interesting to learn about owl medicine, right? It can be an omen of death is what we typically understand it to be, and
it's one of
right,
the messages, but it's also like
there's so much more to it,
seeing in the dark, and
which can also be intimidating but also very empowering. So I'm coming into understanding what it's like to walk with that medicine. So then the imagination brought the owl to my shoulders, and then I saw it immediately in the most random way. And so then after I picked up my son from the airport, it was probably like an hour before I was back to that spot coming home, because I literally was like looking, was that fake or not?
Right.
And of course it wasn't there anymore. So it was a very,
it was real.
Yeah, it was real. It was a barred owl, very white, with very, you know, simple black flecks all through it, but it was very white, and definitely not a great horn because the head was round. So you know, I just really getting those reminders of that liminal medial space, and that's where I am, and really a bridge between the worlds, and can really get thrown off by all the feelings around me and within me, but to just really keep up my practice of knowing myself and showing up in that liminal space, and being a bridge, being that the best I can be within that space. So I don't know, it's the imagination is quite powerful. It's quite powerful, because in the world of counseling, I'm always recommending clients to seek out EMDR, which you and I have talked about. And the imagination is quite powerful in recalibrating our nervous system when we're processing trauma or past negative feelings or fears. Like with EMDR, with heart math, we're kind of going into those emotions and feelings, and letting the imagination then bring images. It's not really the imagination in the mind first. It's more the feelings, and then accessing the imagination. It's a really powerful way of interpreting, like redirecting those body memories from, you know, trauma or fear into resolution, something more that you can digest, and therefore letting the nervous system heal. So the imagination, so powerful. It's really something we need to value so much. You know, as kids, we're always like in that imaginal world, right? There's so much freedom to imagine, but we can get away from it as adults.
I want to say hi to Sandy, to Adeline, and Janessa and James, who I ran into happily yesterday.
Oh yes, Janessa and James.
Yeah. So hi,
go
guys.
Kangen water. Woo.
So the question that comes to me, Sandy was talking about how much she loves owl medicine. For me, what comes in is the threshold between intuition and imagination. So you had an imagining of owl. I always go right into the chicken and the egg, right? What came first? Was the owl there calling to you, giving you the vision that called your eye? Or did you conjure the owl and then it appeared? Right? That's where I go to, is like,
so great.
oh, it's
cool.
so juicy, right?
Yeah.
That's such a juicy space. And part of what I was feeling today that I wanted to talk about a little bit was creativity and art as a vital life tool.
Absolutely.
And so that just ties right into imagination.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And this too is like, and the other thing that I was getting when you were talking was the polarity between past and future. And when you talked about being in the center space, I thought, well, that's the now, right? So you're in the fully present, connected to all that is, and connected to your imagination. And then it's almost like, were you even in the same dimension? Right?
I don't think so.
Like, did you open a portal and then, oh, hello, owl. There you are. Of course, there you are, because I just brought you in. So I kind of feel like we're at this time in the world where that the boundaries that used to be so rigid between this realm and others, between, you know, between imagination and intuition, they're all becoming so much more flexible and pliable, so that we can play with them a little bit and like sculpt those edges a little bit, touch into them, see where it kind of goes. Instead of it goes hard, it's like, wah, right? So, I mean, oftentimes I hear that that's actually the biggest, or that I've heard as a criticism of intuition. It's like, you say, well, I had this intuitive knowing, and someone who might not believe says, well, maybe you just imagined it, right? Or like, I had this strong intuition. Oh, well, maybe you just imagined that owl. That dismissive voice that says, that probably didn't happen, you know? So what if we lend more credence to our intuition? What if we lend our belief to it and say, how about it's always intuition unless I'm shown otherwise? Or, I don't know, I'm just playing with some ideas here.
No, I love it. I do love that, because it's making me... What do you see?
Sandy says, imagination is endless and full of wonder.
Yeah.
It's true. And we're co-creating with it. So...
yeah, the creative life force is so powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can have... yeah, now you've got me sort of thinking about intuition and imagination. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, we can play around in there, but ultimately I think both are creative life force. Like both are...
and.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not one or the other.
It's not one or the other. And we can really, as you say, play around with the edges of that and imagine and intuit from that place. And, you know, I heard Zach Bush again, you know, really talking about how the polarities of victim and perpetrator. Did you see it? Or are you just reading my mind?
Well, a little bit of both.
And the middle of that, those two polarities he was talking about was the creative forces.
Oh.
So I do think that the creative energy is very childlike. It's very...
it takes us out of victim,
either
perpetrator,
one, because
into innocence.
Into innocence, which is very much child wonder.
Oh,
right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so again, it's like we were talking about being around new humans. That is the ultimate, like, you know, creative innocence, life force that's not pulled in either polarity, right? Even male, female, again, like, it's just that pure neutral life. Innocence that we all are and started out with in that very childlike innocence. Absolutely.
And that's the thing that I love most about being around small kids, like really little kids, is the look of wonder on their face all the time.
All the time.
They're just like, this world. And I remember seeing that in my own kids and just going, oh, to be there all the time.
Right?
I love that.
And it's just so nourishing, so nourishing, you know, it really is. And, you know, being around this baby that I was mentioning when we started, she's a year old, and it made me realize, being around her, yes, just like you said, there's just this constant wonder and taking in information. And if there's distress in the field around us in that time, we can really start to develop so many beliefs. So our nervous system gets wired towards, say, fight or flight, or it's really, but it's a time where we're not conscious, really, right? Like the consciousness between 0 to 7 is really when we're forming so much of ourselves, our nervous system, our beliefs, everything, and we don't really remember it, right? I mean,
the memory center of the brain apparently isn't fully developed until 8 months or something like that. So,
but most of us don't really
that's
have
something
memories.
I've learned about in my adoption story, because the concept is, well, they just won't remember.
Yeah.
And yet there is a cellular memory and a soul memory, and not only that, when you're with a child at that age, they're present. It's not like nobody's home. They're 100% present and taking it all in.
They are.
Yeah, but the memory center's not the same.
Yeah. And most of us don't have memories until after 3 years old, maybe 4.
Yeah.
But from 0 to 3, there's so much development going on. And being around Oakley really made me realize, wow, that's so much it's so powerful, right? We don't necessarily have cognitive memory of that time, yet it's such a powerful time of our development. So we really need to support ourselves and each other when there's children around for that purpose. Because the imagination can be so nourishing and well-serving, but we can also imagine that if there's stress in the field as a child, it's because I'm the problem, and then create stories around that too, and so it's just such a vital time for us all, and important to really circle up and support each other.
Sandy says the earliest of my memories was 3 years old.
Yeah,
and children are full of imagination and creativity.
Yeah.
So I'm actually just getting, because for me it's always spontaneous and in the moment. My intuitive sense is perhaps we could do a meditation, a coherence meditation, using our imaginations to imagine having our needs met when we were little.
Yes.
And imagining having a field of calm, and that our parents had community holding the baby so they could have a shower.
Yeah.
And imagining, if we actually create with our imaginations now a past memory for ourselves of coherence, what that could do to our energy field today.
Yes. That is what
it's kind of fun.
That's what I was referring to when I was saying, through EMDR. Yes, you recreate the experience, and that is such a powerful tool. It's so effective, more than hours and hours of talk therapy, right? If you can,
reprogram your brain.
Yeah, and so let's do that, absolutely. And we can imagine our wise woman selves now holding our baby selves. And we can even imagine our elder selves in our 80s, coming
our grandparent selves.
Yeah, coming into that moment and holding ourselves, right? Holding that inner child of ourselves, and seeing, our environment around us from that place, however that looks to the individual, right? And your imagination will kick in. It'll bring images, whether it's, you're at home and your parents are around, your siblings are around,
We could even take a minute, I'll just sort of suggest something, that we could actually start by acknowledging what actually was so at that time. So it's helpful to, instead of just sort of overlaying the positive, let's get present to how it really felt.
Yeah.
And then bring in the resources. Maybe something like that.
Love
so that
it.
To do the reprogramming, but we want to do the acknowledgement first of how things actually were.
Okay, let's give that a try.
Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Under this
and let's
wisteria
allow it.
tree.
A wistful wisteria.
I'm trying to learn the smell the way that Sarah knows it. Look at the colors. Okay.
Well, that's why I wanted to talk about creativity a little bit today, because it was like we're just so blessed with this intense color. There's like this pale lilac purple, but there's also this little splash of like baby chick yellow and a tiny bit of white in the center of it, and of course this pale green
baby chick
too.
yellow.
Isn't it so sweet? Yeah, it's so fragrant. Oh my goodness, at night with the doors open, it just wafts in.
So maybe they're more fragrant at different times of the day because of the temperature they're in. Interesting. Interesting.
Beautiful tree, one of her faves too. Okay,
So
well,
that's sunny. I feel like
I know, it's like we're in the tropics here. Okay, ready to...
Okay, let's play.
Let's do it. Play, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Let's invite in the element of play today, like children.
So yeah, just being comfortable wherever you are, taking a minute to slow your breath down, come into a rhythm. Have your eyes closed or open, whatever feels accurate. Just encourage you, invite you to be really aware of yourself through this exercise. If any of it is uncomfortable, then you can stop and care for yourself. Just want to be really aware of going back into our childhoods can be, draining or disturbing. But our effort here is to go back and feel first what it was for you between the ages of 0 and 3. Interesting to explore what feeling might come up and where you might feel it in the body. And from the feeling, your imagination will create snippets of images. Just bring in your current aged self to that image early, that scene, those feelings. And maybe call in your elder self to join. Let's activate a rejuvenating feeling to bring into this scene in our imaginations and these feelings in our bodies. Rejuvenating feeling is gratitude, appreciation, love, joy, creativity. bringing that feeling throughout the body. So we're timeless now. We can be 0 to 3. We can be present. We can be in the future. From that rejuvenating feeling, just allow your imagination and intuitive energy to take you wherever it's needed. In this medial place, we can expand. If you're seeking any answers or guidance or direction, asking your heart in this middle place is a great asset to get those clear messages from our hearts. Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
When you're ready. Wow, that's incredible. It can happen in such a short period of time. So just sharing my experience as a way to hopefully, help if it is helpful. When I was closing my eyes, I
sort of need us to come back. I just need you to actually say the words and come back if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm not quite there yet.
Go ahead.
Just if you could just say, open your eyes.
Yeah, when you're ready.
I was totally looking for you to leave me. Okay, now I'm there. Thank you. Even though that wind was out too.
Yeah, sorry, I thought
that's okay.
It was, wow.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it really was.
Tell me your story.
Well, it's just, and again, an example, right, of going into my body, feeling where I was, then letting the image of being a newborn in my mother's arms, right? And feeling then what was going on in the field and just allowing that. It's not made up or all in my head or, it was my imagination, but there's truth when it comes through that way from those deeper places, And then calling in like my present self and my elder self and like holding the baby and the messages that were there for that little baby. But then all of a sudden, like seeing my mom's eyes look up at me in this current age and my elder space and the messages for her.
Oh, wow.
It's very rejuvenating, very, very powerful. And then bringing in, you know, the rejuvenating feeling for me was how I feel when I'm dancing and I'm very aligned. And bringing that energy to the moment, and how that reassured my mother, and then the wind kicked up, right? So I mean, it's very, can be very interesting, and traveling those timelines. And I feel so much more, again, ease. And for me, being very, just feeling that self-love and self-knowing, yeah, it's just very, and like, I mean, that was just a few minutes. So,
yeah.
And whether that is intellectually true or, you know, statistically, logistically how it all was back then, it doesn't matter, because now all of a sudden I feel a rejuvenated energy to reach out to my mother and continue, you know, continue our relationship at this point with that love and acceptance and understanding of myself and being supportive of her. Because when she looked up in my eyes, I saw the same look that I see in Olivia's face, Oakley's mom, where it's really, I need support. I'm struggling here with all of this. And so I'm gonna give her a call later today and show up with just acceptance for wherever she is, and yeah, let that be something so beautiful from today.
Oh,
yeah. How was it for you?
I love that.
Mm-hmm. It's different for all
me.
of us.
I felt myself very young in the nonverbal state, and I felt my activation of fight, flight very young. I felt it coming in as, like, I saw myself as an intact human in the world, which in itself is a success. I've successfully arrived, and I'm living.
Yes.
And on my left side, it was almost like a poke. It was like something poking at my energy field, like caution, danger, be aware, monitor your surroundings, check it out. You know, it was this steady, almost like as steady as a heartbeat, just like poke, poke, poke. Like, I have to be on guard, you know? So my experience was very nonverbal, and so I was present to that, and then I really enjoyed bringing in my present self and my future self as well. And bringing self in without verbal messages of I love you, you're safe. Just actually bringing in the presence of I love you and you're safe, because here I am. Like, it's sort of like, we're here, therefore we made it.
Yep.
Therefore you can have confidence that you're going to get through this. That all happened in the nonverbal planes for me. And I really appreciate it, because now I have that vibrational state in my present moment, and not coincidentally, I've been having dreams that have been around my young self. So this is like clearing that old energy, clearing the old imprints, because we don't need them anymore. We don't need to be in the fight flight of a newborn or a baby child anymore. Just feeling that those energies just kind of sliding out of the picture, because we're moving into this, we're creating this new world, that those coping mechanisms from childhood will not be required anymore. So it's like, just like a gentle sweeping breeze, just wind, clearing the slate and pushing that to the side. So that's what my experience brings for the collective.
Yeah, and
today. So thank you for that. And
it's beautiful.
I had to just say, oh no, bring me back. I'm not quite there.
That's fine.
Sometimes I need to hear the words.
Yes.
I needed the words because I was so nonverbal.
Yes, yes.
So the words to bring me back today. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly how we can rewire our nervous system, right? It's just like what you experienced. It's like bringing those new frequencies in. So it's so powerful how we can really serve ourselves, and that is so simple and so humbling. And when you were talking about that, I suddenly visualized how the human baby is actually born. It's so designed perfectly and so simple. But if we actually think about it, wow, what an incredible journey. We made it. Like you said, we're here now, and that is true, because really the skull condenses, we're moving through in this very specific way to be born, and coming out and watching a baby once the head is out, how it turns so that then the shoulders will come through. I mean, it's
coming from a liquid environment to a gas environment, oxygen environment. We metamorphize in that moment.
It's really,
right?
Yeah, so that in itself is a good reminder for us now, no matter how old we are, that we have made it.
We've made it. We're here. We made it.
Already we've made it.
There's some success here.
Yeah, there's some success here. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I think we should leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of love, everyone.
Yeah.
If
We've
there's
succeeded, we're here.
If there's any questions or needs or, curiosities that you have to understand more of your own practice, please either message Sarah or post it or myself, because sometimes we need to co-create, so to understand more. Anyway, lots of love, everyone.
Lots of love. Thank you for being here with us today. Hi, Alana. I think Kim's here. Hi, Kim. So nice to see you, and it just feels so good to share this practice together. So if you're just coming on, we're just wrapping up now, but you can just rewind to the beginning and join us again. Because it's timeless time.
And if you just landed here by chance, look to see if you can turn on your notifications for any lives that Sarah's putting on through this channel. If you should be able to find a button to turn on notifications for further meetings.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Okay. We love you. Thanks for being here with us in Wisteria today.
Yes, baby.
In the great Wistery. See you later, friends. Actually, we'll just take you for a little trip around the...
Do it.
Let's do it. You just need to see this incredible beauty. I'll zoom out here so you can see the magnificence of this. Just keep going and going. There you go. Oh, hi, Kim. Yes, blessings to you on this beautiful day. Enjoy this magnificence. We love you. Bye for now.